Hello to the Crow fam. This channel is not specifically dedicated to crypto.com or the Cronos token, although I do cover it like 90% of the time because it just is one of my biggest holdings. And I think I've said that till I'm blue in the face. Regardless, it's like a love-hate relationship sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I really loved what they've done, and then sometimes I wasn't so happy with what they did, but I still felt like it was a smart investment idea for myself. I never recommend anything because I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice. Do your own due diligence. But so I do focus on it a lot. It is my biggest holding. And Crow fam, this is a day, a week, maybe longer into the future where we can celebrate and feel like we finally have our time in the sun. It's absolutely incredible what the crypto.com token is doing, the Cronos token, for a variety of reasons. It kind of feels like finally everything is falling in line, not just crypto.com, not just the markets, not just the macro, the political, regulatory, social sentiment. You name the box, you tick the box. It feels like the wind is at our back now. Um, Chris, the CEO, has finally taken a proactive stance on mentioning Kronos. I could parrot basically everything that everyone's already saying. I don't want to do that. Again, this isn't the fanciest channel out there. I kind of just give you my bare bones information in a format that used to incorporate a really cute corgi that I still, housing situation. I don't have her right now. I'm hoping to get her back and involved in the channel. For those of you who are the OGs of the channel and know that this is the Credible Crypto Corgi channel because of that Credible Crypto Corgi. Um, Anyways, yeah, I lost track of what I was just saying. I started thinking about my corgi. Um, but yeah, so everything just feels like it's finally going in the right direction. The social sentiment, everything, uh, and it's exciting. We the Kronos token went from like almost 50 top 50 tokens to like somewhere around 30 something. It's like the top performing altcoin in the top 100, and it's just doing some like amazing moves right now. Again, like I said, for a variety of reasons. Oh yeah, like I said, I don't want to like parrot everybody. Just say the exact same things. Mention the roadmap. Blah 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 blah. Like I could do that, and I probably will in bits and chunks. But like um my style is kind of just give you my thoughts, just so like it's my actual perspective on somebody who's like very heavily invested in Crow. And I know a lot of like social influencers will say, "Yeah, I'm all in on." It's kind of laughable, like not to throw shade, but like I see a lot of people go, "I'm all in on Crow. I'm all in on Doge. I'm all in on Pepe," and like I don't think you understand what all in means. Because you can't be all in on many different things. You're like all in on one thing. And I don't recommend that. All in is not a smart investment strategy. Diversity kind of protects you. Although a concentrated investment is what actually generates wealth. And, if you diversity protects it, concentration is what produces it. Generally speaking, um, it's just funny when you see stuff like that, and it's just for clicks. It's not like they're not giving you anything genuine. Um, I mean, maybe they actually feel the way they feel about whatever they talk about, but like saying they're all in is not like I've bitten off quite a bit of the risk curve here. When I say like throughout the entire bear market, I was selling certain things, but not Crow. When I look at the Crow cashback on my card and I see 10 Crow here, 6 Crow here, whatever, 50 Crow there, and then it keeps on going up because Crow keeps on getting cheaper. So I'm getting 100 Crow back on some things here and there, and whatever it is, it's like in my mind, I'm seeing like $1 a piece. Like I'm like, wow, I just got 100 Crow. That's like awesome. And it looks like, my I think I said it before, like, I viewed Crow as a flop if it goes back to like 70 cents. Like I'm looking for all-time highs or higher. And one of the things I think is interesting now that everyone's talking about Crow again because it's such a good performer, if you can't ignore it. Like if you're not talking or at least mentioning Crow and you're like, look at how great the market is, then I kind of wonder what your bias is. Like, I just don't understand how you don't talk about Crow when you look at the performance versus everything else. It's literally just leading the way. Well, Bitcoin's leading the way. Crow is leading the altcoin way. Um, so yeah, again, another one of my styles is I ramble and then I forget what I was talking about in the first place. Um, but it's really incredible to see where it's going and oh yeah, side note on my last video, the sound was like terrible. And I don't know why that happened. And I was too lazy to try to fix it. So hopefully the sound in this one is fine. Like didn't match my face. This is not an AI channel as much as I wish it were, because that would probably be even less work than I do now, which is already minimal. Um, I'm, I want to try stepping back into it. And I think I'm going to start with like a part one. If I don't do this now, I'm probably never going to do it. I'm going to keep pushing it off. And probably nobody's interested in this now because it's so far after the fact. But I think it reinforces my comfort with the platform, and then going forward, when you look at the promotions going forward, you can think, okay, well that take what you want from it, I guess. So a while ago, for those of you who are aware or not, they were doing a promotion where if you upgraded your card tier, you could do a welcome package with Apple or Samsung up to $20,000, depending on what card tier you upgraded to. Um, Now, at the time, I was upgrading from my Icy White to the Obsidian Black, and that was a $400,000 investment, which is substantial. Again, I am not a rich person. I'm not. I'm fairly well off for the investments that I do, but it is because I live in abject poverty and I maximize my leverage and loans and I'm in debt up to my eyeballs and probably more. Like, I joke, people ask me sometimes like how much you're exposed to crypto and I laugh and I'll say like 170%. And I don't think, we'll both chuckle about it for a little bit. And then I don't think they register what that actually, what 170% might mean. Um, but yeah, that's basically my risk portfolio. So, anyways, um, I was upgrading, and the promotion is that if you lock up that Crow for the card, and then you purchase $20,000 worth of Samsung or Apple products, you will be reimbursed with that amount of money in Crow. In my mind, again, we're at about 6 cents to 8 cents at the time. And I was thinking, if you get $20,000 in Crow, um, and it does, again, if it does just a flop, a 10x to 70 cents or something like that, you're getting 10 times that amount, basically. If you can hold it from 6 cents to 60, 7 cents to 70, whatever it is. So I'm thinking you can turn $20,000 a Crow into $200,000. Like, um, yeah, why not? Let's I felt like it was, and at the very least, um, you would have the welcome package and you would have the card. Well, you would again you had bought it, but um, and that was the thing. Like, I don't actually need $20,000 worth of Samsung or Apple products. Like, I didn't really want. I didn't even want like $1,000 worth of products. Like, I don't have any need for any of this stuff in my life. I need like a computer to record stuff and do stuff on, but I don't want to buy a $8,000 TV or like whatever else they were selling on their like tablets and phones. I don't know who really needs $20,000 worth of Samsung products or Apple products. Um, so my thought process was though that with everything in life, there's so much fine print. Like there were so many things on the platform that you had to do to actually qualify when you read through the welcome package. You had to buy the CRO on the platform during the promotional period. So it's not like I could have had that CRO already um, for the lockup, for the upgrade lockup. So it's not like I could have. You can roll whatever you have in the previous card, but the additionally you have to buy it on the platform and lock it up. So it's not like you can buy it on Coinbase and then send it into the account. Like that would technically, I don't know if they actually disqualified anyone for that, but technically, according to the terms of the agreement, that wouldn't have qualified you. And so there were a lot of little things like that I was reading. I was like, I don't know if they're going to be able. I was worried that some chicanery was going to happen and they were going to say, oh, you didn't qualify because of this or that. And it's just like because of their own horribly managed records or something. All of a sudden, I wasted $20,000 on Samsung products that I don't want. I'm not going to get reimbursed for, and it's not returnable because another one of the terms of the service was you have to wait 3 months for the reimbursement so that you're outside of the return window. So specifically, you cannot return these products if they do not reimburse you. Um, which is a risk of $20,000, which again, like, I know I'm talking about a fairly large investment, but it's not like I don't actually have that kind of capital just lying around to like, oh, it's okay, I didn't get that. It is all very like skin of my teeth, um, whatever. Yeah, it is a meaningful thing to say, like, it was a risk I wasn't sure was worth taking. But anyways, so that was my worry, and at the time, there was no indicator of whether or not they have a record of you qualifying. Like you could do it, you could do the purchase, upgrade your card, and then you just kind of have to wonder, like, am I going to get reimbursed for 3 months? At one point, I talked to customer service, and they told me specifically they didn't have records of me qualifying. Um, and there was like the original promotional offer, and then they did two extensions on the offer. I didn't do the first one. I didn't feel like taking the risk. I jumped on board on the second one for some reason. I forget exactly why the second one lured me in. And the third extension, I was already in the previous group for, but because I had asked at like the wrong time, they were looking at the first window where they didn't have a record of something, but like the base tier of the customer support is terrible. They almost never know, like, beyond their little script of like normal problems, like, oh, how do I withdraw from my account? Like they don't know that, like, okay, well, now you're talking with somebody who's dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of investments, and they're talking about a very specific niche. I realize this is a problem that probably like 16 people on the platform was dealing with. But like they could not tell me whether or not my purchase was going to qualify for the reimbursement. And I felt like that was a problem. Um, Fast forward, anyways, and there's another pain point in the process. And again, I want to fast forward, like I said in my last video, the overarching of this experience was actually positive. I had a really tough 75% in the beginning, but the last 25% came through. So like if this sounds like I'm going down the rabbit hole of like problems, it was a lot of problems. It was a big headache for a lot of, especially because of the money involved. Um, and because I was dealing with two different terrible customer service companies, like sandwiched between Crypto.com and at the time, if you remember, and it's improved since then, but I'm sure Crypto.com still has real problems with their customer service. Like if I had to say one thing on like what they still lack is customer service. You know, again, I'm going to get all over the map here if I start rambling, but at the time, you're going to be sandwiched between Crypto.com and then Samsung, who has also terrible customer service. I didn't know this because I've never dealt with them before, but now I'm like swearing off Samsung products. This is how bad it was. It was okay. I'll say this: the experience was good for my experience with Crypto.com. For my experience with Samsung, I will never buy another Samsung product ever again. I use Android now. I think I'm switching to Apple. Not that Samsung is the only make that makes Androids, but I like literally I hate that company now. Like they are insanely terrible. So I placed a $20,000 order in the Samsung store because you're required to do through the actual physical location or online. You can't like order it through Amazon. And you have to do it in one order. One of the terms of the service was you have to do it in one order. They could only track and reimburse you through one order. If you do it in multiple orders, it breaks up the orders and they can't track the multiple orders. And this was a point of contention. Samsung was able to drop the ball and totally misprocess a $20,000 order, which is mind-boggling to me that you can have somebody, a retail customer, invest $20,000 to spend on your products, and you can mess up that order. If you don't care about a $20,000 order, like what do you care about as a store? Like I'm and speaking with customer service, I went back and forth with customer service, like tearing my hair out for months. And I don't even know if I was talking to a real person for the first, like, I kept on asking for supervisors, escalate this, blah, blah, blah. And I would get emails back that just didn't even reference my previous conversation. It felt like they were talking about somebody else completely. Like it was a different order and a different person in a different state. Like I have no idea what Samsung is doing over there at Samsung. Um, so yeah, Samsung, terrible, messed up my order, so I ordered $20,000 worth of product. Basically, I get 16,000 worth. They end up returning something, not delivering something, not processing something, and they say, "Oh well, we will reorder it for you and send it to you." And I go, "No, no, no, no. This has to be one order. You've already screwed it up." So basically, they've already taken away a lot of the reimbursement because they've ruined the order that cannot be redone, which is upsetting. They for months go around about how to fix this. They never actually do. They never fix it. They tell me that my one of the products must be stolen because it didn't register in their system, and I guarantee you, I know in this community what gets stolen and not, and I think it's very unlikely that the product got stolen. I think it's very likely, like the other orders that they agree they messed up on, they probably just messed up on. Anyways, long story short, yeah, they ruined the orders, which affected the reimbursement, whatever. So I was worried about the whole reimbursement thing. And fast forward, I'm gonna actually I don't want to make this a multi-process, and this is already almost a 20-minute video. No one's gonna listen to this ramble. Crypto.com came through on the reimbursement. I did have to, because it was that 3-month window. I waited till the 3-month window plus a week just to give it safe window, and they didn't reimburse me yet, and I was starting to sweat. And so I reached out to customer service and I said, "Hey, what's up with my reimbursement of what I do qualify for?" And then after like 2 days, I think they gave it to me. They were like, "Oh, yep, we got it." So honestly, like it was a lot of stress up front. On the back end, crypto.com, that was cool. And even though I didn't get the full reimbursement because of the Samsung side that got messed up, um, I did get, at the time, I think what I finally ended up getting reimbursed crows at maybe 9 cents, 8 cents, something like that. And so now we hit a high yesterday of 24, I think. Um, so yeah, that reimbursement thing worked out so far. Um, I'm holding for. I mean, this is just the first like month of what like could be an altcoin bull run. So I'm holding for a little bit longer at least. Again, my thought is that 70 cents would be a failure. Okay, so yeah, I think I'll end it there. I said I would talk about that process for a long time. Part of what I don't like talking about is like just like putting the figures out there. I think some other channels will talk about numbers to like say how important they are in the space, and sure, I get a lot of followers. And I'm just kind of like really nervous about putting out there that like I'm an idiot. So yeah. Anyways, I am an idiot, so don't even like listen to what I'm saying. But if you want to, if you can, like and subscribe to the video, leave me comments, and use my referral codes because again, like if you had signed up and gotten that $200 free CRO from using my referral code and getting a card, now it would probably be worth about triple that, which would be like the whole value of like the lockup if you're getting the $500 tier. Um, Although one thing, I'll make another video that, well, maybe I'll just say it right now. They did extend. It used to be a 6-month lockup, and now it's a year lockup, and I think that's significant. So we'll talk about that later.